everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to the second monumental unboxing that we've had in the space of 1 week. Last Wednesday we unboxed part one, I suppose, of the January group order via the Silver Forum from the European Mint. And we now have the second box to share with you guys. It's not quite as heavy as that first box, which was over 60 kilos. If you haven't checked that first video out, it's well worth a look. The link is down in the description below. Now, as we unbox this video, as you can see, I've done a bit of pre-scoring because it is always fun to try open these live on camera and not as easy as you think. Now, as we go through this and take everything out and have a good old look at what we've got, I wanted to talk about a really interesting topic, and I was racking my brains about what we could talk about as I unbox this giant parcel. And one thing which is very, I think, relevant at the moment is that of silver prices. Now, I've talked about silver prices many times before on my channel. I've made videos reacting to big price spikes and big price drops in the past. And this last couple of weeks, we've seen silver creeping up. It's going up and up and up. And it's, you know, certainly a long way away from the $14 an ounce. Now, the reason I'm talking about dollars is that it's very difficult here in the UK because we obviously use the pound, but metals are kind of index linked towards the dollar. And so when the pound gets weaker or the dollar changes in value, our metal prices change. So whilst we've seen some real sort of topsy-turvy action on silver prices this last, well, like 2-3 weeks, because the value of the pound has changed, it got stronger, which is just a bit odd. So if we just keep talking in dollars, that should hopefully make a little bit more sense. Now, silver prices have crept up, which is great. But does that mean that we should be going all in on these coins, on silver? You know, I've seen so many people talking about how, you know, obviously silver is hugely amazing. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. It's going to make you millions. And that really irks me. I see a lot of channels online, people who've got a lot of influence talking about silver shooting the moon, and I've made videos on that before. I don't think that's going to happen, and sadly you still though get a lot of people who kind of think that, and they'll think that going all in on silver is the absolute right thing to do. They're convinced there's going to be an economic collapse almost immediately. Oh look, we've got some silver shot in here. I ordered a little bit of that for myself for silver pouring. And yeah, to a certain extent, silver, we've got some very toned up American eagles there. Very cool indeed. To a certain extent, of course, silver is going to perform very well, I think, in the next couple of years. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so anything that I kind of speculate on today is really just that, speculation. And that's the important thing to remember as well, that all of these people who are talking about silver and prices and it going up to the moon, they're all speculating. Nobody truly knows what is going to happen with silver prices. It's just unknown, and if somebody really did know, they'd be a billionaire. Now, of course, there are a lot of billionaire companies out there, billionaire investors out there. Maybe they've got it right and you should follow what they do, but I don't believe that. I am a firm believer, and I've said this so many times before on my channel, I'm a firm advocate of you should invest what is right for you, what is right for your own budget, what is right for your own circumstances. And if that means for you buying £20,000 worth of silver or $20,000 worth of silver, that's right for you, then who be it to me to say to you, that you shouldn't do that. That is down to each and every person's individual circumstances. But recognise that there are potential limitations on silver and its potential growth in the future. It's ultimately a bit of a rigged game. Those are cool. We'll feature these, I'm sure, on another video as we go through this box, because there's a lot of very interesting stuff coming out of here. So that is kind of it in a nutshell, I think. We another kind of bringing it back to the point of relevance to this group order. There's a lot of people in the UK right now buying an awful lot of silver because they're almost to a certain degree hedging around Brexit and the fact that we might be leaving the European Union very soon without a deal, which means that the avenues by which we purchase this silver, well, it's not really VAT exempt, but on the VAT margin schemes, will be extinguished and we won't be able to get good deals. So, you know, there's a lot of people who are, I would say, going pretty much all in on silver. And that's a very dangerous thing. And I think for anybody out there who is looking to go, I don't know, all in, just be prepared. You know, it's very good to get in on silver, and you know, we've seen prices going up. I think in all of these boxes, by the way, we've basically just got capsules. There was something like 200, yeah, there you go, capsules for Perth Mint Dragon Bars. So we'll put that box to one side, although those do fill silver, so maybe we'll have a look in there. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are thinking that Brexit will be closing avenues soon, so they'll be going full hog and getting as much silver as they can. And I've seen that in action, because these group orders that we've been recently arranging, they are almost getting to a point where they're out of control. They're almost unmanageable, unwieldy from Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I's perspective. You know, this particular order was so big, we've had to have it come in 2 separate gigantic parcels. And it's just really difficult to manage, but that's maybe a sign that people are going all in on silver, certainly. And I think I'm in fact right now unboxing the only bit of gold in this entire order, and it's just a tiny little amount, a gram's worth of gold casting grain that somebody wanted to pick up. So you can see the kind of fervour for silver is very, very popular at the moment. Oh gosh, this box, yeah. This one is a lot heavier than this one here with all the capsules. Yeah, so you can see a lot of people are going pretty all in on silver. But I think it's important to remember that, yes, the avenues might close for purchasing VAT-exempt silver, and that would be an issue if your strategy was all about silver. But for a lot of people, and myself included, and I've talked about this many times before as well, you know, silver is a means to an end of purchasing some of the yellow shiny stuff that we don't see very often in these orders, gold. And gold will be hopefully unaffected by Brexit, in that the kind of global prices of gold won't change. I think these, by the way, are 10 kilos of 90% silver coins. I'm just going to have a quick nosy in here. Yeah, these are 10 kilos of 90% silvers. Very cool indeed. We'll no doubt crack those open in a Backyard Bullion video at some point. These were from Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I to do some coin hunting in, so we'll talk about those another time. Where was I? I've been digressed so many times in this video, so you will have to excuse my ramblings. But as I've said in another video, it's very difficult to film something like this sort of live and go through an entire unboxing without forgetting where you are and you're talking. So yeah, lots of people, there we go, an entire box of Perth Mint Dragon Bars. Lots of people going all in on silver, but the gold will be unaffected by, ultimately, by Brexit, hopefully. I mean, there are a lot of worries out there from people who say that silver is obviously VAT in the UK at the moment and gold is not, and when we leave the European Union, all of a sudden gold could have a VAT back on it. It used to have sales tax on it back in the day, and now it doesn't, and silver does. So a lot of people are worried that there will be a time when gold perhaps has VAT back on it. So where does that leave us, I suppose? We've got huge group orders happening right now, and the next group order, by the way, is already open. Put a link down in the description below to that. You can probably just about get involved in this weekend if you are still interested, but there'll be plenty of time in this weekend and next weekend for you to get some orders to me if you are interested in joining in. You can find out all about the T's and C's of joining in and how to do so in the thread over on the Silver Forum, which I've linked down below. So yeah, there are avenues, but I would recommend caution to anybody who's thinking of going all in on silver. It is risky. It always is risky. You know, let's go back to that first point. Silver, yeah, it's rising this year. It does look like a pretty good bet, but going all in on anything is, in my opinion, a pretty bad idea. It's a very risky idea, and if that's right for you, of course, then go for it. But ultimately, if silver doesn't perform where you want it to, or you know, your circumstances change and you need to sell all of your silver very quickly, it can have a really, really big impact on your life. And it's probably the biggest reason that I see people making videos, comments, posts, blogs, or whatever it might be about how they've lost lots of money in silver because they overspent on their silver. They went all in listening to, and I'm not going to name any channels because there's enough of them out there that do this anyway, but there's a lot of channels out there that will be talking daily, weekly, monthly about how silver is going to shoot the moon. And as I have said on my channel so many times before, silver is not going to shoot the moon. It might well do one day, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it does as well, of course, you know, having silver is a good thing, and I have some silver. That's, you know, me protected. But going all in is just a big risk. So always be careful of that, and be careful of the sources and the ulterior motives and motivations that some of these, you know, sources might be having. It's not necessarily going to be in everybody's best interest, is all I will say. So always have an air of caution. So we have lots of silver to go through and organise. So Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I now take this giant pile of silver, which is very cool looking, and we organise it and try and sort it out into a pile, which we can then have a look through and see what we've got. And once we have got all of that done, we then package it all up into the individual parcels that all of the group order members have ordered, and we get it posted out. So by the time this video goes live, all of that will have happened, and hopefully all of you will have started getting your silver. I know a lot of you have started getting your silver from that first kind of batch that we did, that first unboxing that we did. And yeah, there we go. Giant pile of silver. Is it going to be the winner for this year? You know, it's already started the year very strong. Will it go up? I'm no expert. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what is going to happen. I can tell you what I think might happen. I think silver will do well. I think if Brexit does not go the way that many people want, and there's a crashing out no-deal Brexit, I think that will obviously hurt the value of the pound, which will of course mean that metals will go up in value because the pound is weaker, and that will be a hedge for us. I'm absolutely amazed by this bag, by the way. The European Mint, massive thank you to them needs to be said here. You know, they have a whole different array of silver items, and one of the coolest things that they've got on their website at the moment are these 90% silver coins. So it is just a whole bag of 90%ers. I don't quite know what's in there, and one of the reasons we got this, not only because it's incredibly sort of cheap silver, and that, listen to that sound, not because it's just cheap silver as well. I think it works out per ounce of silver content to be one of the cheapest things that you can buy out there. But we like the idea of being able to go through this and just sort of seeing if we can find anything, you know, seeing if there's any Walking Liberty half dollars. In fact, look at that right there, straight away, picked up a handful of them, Walking Liberty half dollar, and, you know, we've basically paid, you know, the cheapest that you can get any silver for in the UK. So we've had a good win straight away there. So that's going to go back in, and I'm sure we'll find that again in a coin hunting video. So big shout out to the European Mint, who obviously is the dealer that we've used for this. If you want to find out more about the future group orders and or the European Mint, then make sure that you check them out. The link is down in the description below. There's also a link to the Silver Forum thread where I organise and run these group orders. So if you're interested and you're in the UK at getting some relatively cheap silver, let's be honest, it's probably the cheapest silver that you can get out there in all honesty, then please do feel free to get in touch over on the forum. Otherwise, if you have enjoyed this video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful for everything that we do here on our channel. And if you would like to see some of these future videos that we've got, for example, next Wednesday, we will be having a look at this entire pile. That will be when we have a look at that, and we'll have a good old ramble. And I think the topic of discussion for next week's Ponderous Wednesday, whilst we've got this giant pile of silver out on the table, is going to be, is it possible? What would happen if we went back on the gold standard? What if suddenly Donald Trump turned around and said that, or Theresa May turned around and said that? What would happen? It would be an interesting topic. So I'd like to see you there. If you would like to watch that video, hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed already, hit that alarm bell and you'll get a notification when that video goes live next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, thank you one and all for watching. I hope you all have a brilliant week ahead. And as always, please make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.